Great agents thrive in all markets. It's true. They do. I did. Matter of fact, hey, Greg, can you do some of that no stuff again, please? Like no income, no credit, no job, cash back at closing. Come on, dude. So Greg did that, and Greg caused the world economies to fail. And what do I want? I want Greg to do some more. Why? I figured out how to make a lot of money. Other agents are going out of business, not me. How'd we do? We did very well, didn't we? Matter of fact, would it be cool if Greg would do some of that again? Hell yeah. Great agents thrive in all markets. And I'm not going to say I've been through every market because then like karma will slap my butt. But I've been through a lot of different kind of markets, and great agents thrive in all markets. And I want you to thrive in all markets. And they thrive because they adapt and they change to the market in which they find themselves. They do not stand out in the front yard shaking their fist at the moon, wishing for the world to stop spinning. It's spinning whether you go along with it or not. All these changes that we've got going on this week, I know it's frustrating. I get it. I'm right there with you. No, who's more irritable about stuff like that than nobody? I don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know what's going to happen, and CNN doesn't know, and Fox News doesn't know. Nobody knows. And I don't care. It doesn't matter. Because whatever happens, we are just going to adapt and change and thrive. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to give you a 4-step approach today on how you're going to do it. Because I've gotten this question. So like, how do I adapt? It's a pretty good question. Quit telling me to adapt. This is what we do in this industry. Bill, adapt. Now I got to go to lunch. And Bill's like, okay, well, I'll adapt. What the hell does that mean? How do I adapt? I'm going to give you a 4-step approach today to adapt. And it would thrill me if you would interrupt me, stop me, raise your hand, interrupt. I don't care, but let's talk, okay? And then Greg's going to jump in here and help me with the part that I'm not smart enough to explain to you. First, nothing else can happen until this. You have to understand the environment yourself. You can't help your people. You can't be a trusted advisor if you don't understand. So first, you have to understand. Listen to podcasts. There's so many good ones. Like each morning now, when I'm exercising, I listen to Dave Ramsey. Okay? You know who Dave Ramsey is? If you don't, look it up. I love me some Dave Ramsey. Why? It's just smart. I'm walking this morning and listening to it. I'm talking out loud, and it does occur to me that it's pretty early and it's dark, and I'm talking, and there's nobody around. I'm going, no, that's right, absolutely. He's just right. Listen to podcasts. Be careful who you listen to. Like I listen to a lot of Tom Ferry podcasts, but Tom's 50% full of shit and 50% right on target. You just got to know which 50%'s the bad part, okay? So when you're listening to stuff like this, don't listen to the numbers. So they'll have agents on there, and the agents will say things like, well, I sold 50,000 houses last month. No, they didn't. No, they're all lying, okay? And then the reason why I'm making a point out of this is because you'll start hating on yourself. Well, if you sold 50,000 houses last month, then what's wrong with you? Nothing. She's lying, okay? What she's doing is taking credit for what everybody in this room did. I don't think we all did. Did we do 50,000 sales last month? No, we did not. They're lying. So discount that part of it. But listen to the real information that's in there. If you can sift it apart, don't buy into the production stuff. They're all posers. It's not true. They're all taking credit for what a couple hundred other people do. But listen to podcasts. Listen to credible, okay? Now, this is not a political thing, but CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, all the network news, the Atlanta Journal, this is all bullshit, okay? It's not news. It's political commentary, and it is very cleverly slanted in every area to reflect their politics. It's not credible. What are some credible ones? Well, here's the ones I go to. Barron's, I like Barron's. Wall Street Journal, most of it, be careful, it gets a little wacky in some parts, but there's good content in there if you can sift through the crap. There's a site, Keeping Current Matters. This will give you data. This is an opinion, and if you listen to Ramsey, you will hear him say this: I don't care how you feel. How you feel is irrelevant. Let's talk about the data. What's the data say? Keeping Current Matters is a pretty good one. FMLS and all the boards put out data reports every month. Pay attention to that stuff. Take out of it what you can use. And I'm going to show you how to use it in just a second. Okay? Books. Listen or read to great books. I don't read too many books, but I can knock out about 2 a month listening to them. And listen to the good stuff, not the, I gotta be careful, not the romance novels, okay? You're a business person, listen to the business books. And help, I know, you're such a whack job, aren't you? And help yourself set reasonable expectations, okay? Here's the fact. Here, you don't have to like this. It just is. We're starting to go into a market shift right now, and it's going to shift more. And you are probably going to work harder for less. Sorry. Anything else would not be telling you the truth. You're about to start working harder for less. You might not have to like that, but there's an old saying that a rising tide lifts all boats, okay? I will contend that if you couldn't sell houses in the last 3, maybe 4 years, you can't sell houses. Get out. Go get a real job. Because it's never going to be easier. You put a house up for sale, you got a listing, and the homeowner wanted 30% more for the house than it was worth, and it sold the first weekend. And realtors all over Atlanta are crowing about this like they did something. You didn't do crap, except you did know the person and you got them to list the house with you, but you can't take credit for it selling the first weekend or for selling for more than it was worth. You had nothing to do with that. A rising tide lifts all boats. You're about to start working harder for less. Here's what Warren Buffett says. Yeah, a rising tide lifts all boats, but when the tide goes out, you can tell who's been swimming naked. And we about to find out who's been swimming naked. And it's already started. Next, help your customers understand. Now look, this is a real problem for us in this business because we want to have opinions and we want people to listen to our opinions because I'm a realtor. So you should be fascinated with my opinion. And the truth is, she doesn't give a damn about my opinion because I'm a realtor. The barriers to enter to this business aren't that high. Have you noticed? Look around the room. Ouch. I know, but that was so much fun. Look, here's what we had to do. We had to take a pre-license class and pass a test. We did not have to get a 4-year degree. We did not have to have any master's degree or PhD. We did not have to put up $1 million. Greg, if I wanted to start a mortgage company, I just take a class and pass the test? No. What, I got to have some net worth? Yes. How much money would you say I would have to even think about doing it?
Starting a new mortgage lending company, about $2 million.
Okay, we ain't that. Can we all agree? Some of us didn't have $2,000. Some of us didn't have $200. So don't be shocked when people don't want your opinion, though you desperately want to give it. They don't want it. Use data, not opinions. Use the Keeping Current Matters site to support your opinions. Show the customer the information. Don't give them your opinion. So use graphs and charts. Use charts, not opinions. And you can steal these. That's why the sites exist. Use FMLS's charts. Use the board reports when they come out. Use Keeping Current Matters reports. This will substantiate your opinion. Unsubstantiated opinions from realtors carry no weight with anybody, and it's why your customers aren't listening to you. Help your customers. So you set your expectations. Now we got to help our customer set. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to pivot. We're adjusting. Where, let's be straight, for the last 2 or 3 years, we even taught this here, linear. When you go on a listing appointment and the homeowner wants to overprice their listing, what's your response?
I got to sign in the car.
Aren't you going to try to help them set reasonable expectations and get their price based on the comparables?
I don't know what reasonable price is right now.
That's right. We say this stuff. I've been saying this for 3 years. You don't know what a house is worth. Well, what do you care what the homeowner wants to put a price on? You know it's going to sell anyhow. Any crazy price Omni wants to put on our house, your response is, let's do it. Not a high degree of skill involved there. Fair? Right. Okay. Well, times are changing. And you can change with them and you can get out in front of it or you can become a dinosaur. So we're going to help the customer understand the market and set reasonable expectations. For you, focus on the opportunities, not the obstacles. This is a key one. As the market shifts and things change, and to what degree, nobody knows. Opinions are all over the place. My opinion is we're going to have a fairly soft landing. We are going to have a recession. Home prices are going to calm down. The best speculation that I've seen, the one that I would bet on, is prices do not go down. They go up about 8 to 10% this year, but the instances of multiple offers greatly reduce. It goes back to more of a regular marketplace, okay? We're already seeing it. We're seeing big national investment groups backing out of all their contracts. So I have one of these groups that I've worked with and one of my good friends runs. They're the second largest investment fund in the world. And on Friday of last week, we had a call, I guess it was 2 weeks ago now, and I was telling Brett, because we talked right after the call, and the call was about how can we buy more homes? What do we need to do on our side to win more offers that we put bids in on? And that was an hour conversation. And they are buying 30 houses a month, right? And these groups own over 30,000 single-family homes in metro Atlanta. And they're renting them out, and they're never going to sell them. So on Friday morning, the call is, how can we buy more? And Monday, as Jane and I are at Talksaway after dinner, and I've had a couple of cocktails. I probably shouldn't have taken the call, but it's the director, and he's like, Mike, how many properties do we have closing tomorrow? And I said, 7, I think, because I've had a couple of martinis already. I think it's 7. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 7. He goes, cancel them. I'm like, cancel them? He goes, yeah, we're not going to close. I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, yeah, and all of our contracts for July, August, and out into September, cancel all of them, terminate all of them. I'm like, well, you're not getting your earnest money back. He goes, we don't care. I'm like, you don't care? He goes, no, we think we're about to walk away from about $6 million in deposits. It's nothing to them. That's lunch money to them. We don't care. Why don't you care, TJ? What's going on? He goes, Here's the way I'd say it to you, Mike. We're going to go to the bar for 60 days and have a drink, and when we come back, we're going to buy the same houses or similar for about 10% less. Why, you think prices are coming down? No, we don't think prices are coming down. Well, then how are you going to buy them for 10% less? Because we're not going to have to overbid to get them. We think in a month or two, because I start giving him a hard time. Like, you're going to back out. There's 7 homeowners who think they're closing and moved out of their house. They think they're closing tomorrow, and you're just keep the deposit. And he goes, that's right. I'm like, TJ, that's just wrong. He goes, we don't give a shit. They're a Wall Street hedge fund. They don't have a soul. There is no soul. There's no heart. They're not people. It's a thing. It's like this table. This table has no soul. Here's what he says. And this is good advice to you, to all of us. And Greg, I'm coming to you next, okay? He goes, I got a question for you, Mike. I'm feeling sorry for the homeowners. He goes, they shouldn't have hired such shitty listing agents. I'm like, oh, now we're going to blame it on the listing agents because see, this is what they do. They're victims, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, you have the second largest hedge fund in the world buying your house, and you get $2,000 earnest money. He goes, you know what deals we're not canceling? The ones where we got $25,000 or more in earnest money. We're not canceling those deals. Why, if you have the second largest hedge fund in the world buying your listing, did you only get $2,000 earnest money? Because if you'd asked us for $50,000, we would have given it to you. I'm like, no, okay. And I think, as this is being said to me through my martini-fogged mind, which is, I think all of us want to think of ourselves as good agents. But I want you to think about this for a second. Those listing agents that negotiated a contract for their listing and that homeowner with a Wall Street hedge fund and got $1,500, $2,000 from a group that thinks $6 million's not much money, did they do a good job? Are they a good agent? Should they have said to the homeowner, is like, hey, we need to get enough money from these people to make them not walk away from the deal. And that ain't what it is from like Joe and Sally homebuyer. It's not 2,000, it's 20 or 30 or 40. That's pain to them, right? We need to focus on opportunities and not obstacles. Opportunities are in a shifting market. Does this actually mean more choices and less competition for your home buyers? For all your home buyers, everybody in the room can think of somebody that you're working with that has gotten frustrated because they can't find the home they want. And then when they do find the home, they're in multiple offers. Is this good news for them? Yeah. Hell yes. It's the opportunity. Watch this. Does this mean that people that had fears around finding the next house before they sold their current house, their fears may ease a little bit now? How many people were working with a homeowner that said, well, we might be willing to sell our house, but what are we going to buy? There's nothing out there to buy. So if we sell our house, we're going to be homeless. Well, in a shifting market like this, where there's not so much competition, is that as true anymore? Does it merit going back to those people and saying, look how many more homes are on the market now. Look how many more choices that you have now. Look how the prices and the competitiveness have calmed now. Do you want to reevaluate? Is there opportunity in that?
Can't they come back to you and say, well, my house won't sell as much as I want it to now, so I don't want to sell it?
Well, people can always say anything. How do you know that?
Well, I mean,
no, watch. Okay, so let's do this. You want to play? Let's play. Okay. So how much do you want for your home before you would consider moving?
$1 million.
Sounds good to me. Would you like me to get started right now?
Let's do it.
Okay. There's only one way we're going to find out, right?
Fair enough.
I mean, right now your house isn't for sale at all, right?
Yeah.
What are the chances somebody's just going to drive by, stop, and get out and walk up and hand you a check for $1 million? All right, but we need to put a sign out and get it up for sale, right?
Yep.
And if somebody did want to pay you $1 million, would you want to move then?
Yeah,
Okay, good. Would you like me to start now or tomorrow?
but not $1 million less.
Okay, I don't care. Why? Why don't I care? It's an opportunity. And people change their minds. And today he says he wants $1 million and not $1 less. And next week he goes, what do we need to do to get this sold? And I want him to change his mind with me. That's why. Are mortgage rates really more expensive? I mean, Greg, what were they a year ago?
About 3.25%.
And what are they about today? See, he hates quoting directly because the second he says that, it's now out of date and wrong. But 6%. So, I mean, are the rates really more expensive, or do we just feel like they're more expensive? Well, let's find out. So, Greg, will you come up and kind of take over this for me? Because I'm going to need Greg to walk you. But this is what? Don't let me lose you here. Don't let Greg lose you. I wouldn't lose you, but Greg might lose you. This is the conversation you need to be having with people, okay? But you have to understand it first. So let's take a loan for $350,000. So here, I'm going to let you walk through this, okay?
He wants me to use that thing you've got.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Use the
And I
arrow
use
down clicker.
arrow down clicker. Oh boy, technology. Yes. All right, a loan for $350,000. We're just going to use that because that's pretty close to the average size loan that this office does. Maybe a tad smaller, but pretty close. In 2021, $350,000 at 3 1/4. The principal and interest was $1,519. In 2022, at 6%, $2,088. That's pretty simple math. Anybody can figure that out using a little template or calling me, whatever. So let's look at it. 2022 versus 2021. The difference is $569 per month, which is a whopping $6,800 for the year. Now let's look at how this shakes out. So far, I haven't lost anybody yet, please? I haven't? We're all good?
This house cost me now more, $6,800 more a year to buy than it would have cost me if I bought it a year ago.
That's exactly what it says. Thank you. $6,800 more to buy it now than it would have been to buy it a year ago. All right, that's what it says. Doesn't mean you can't afford it. Just simply says it's a little bit more. Total cost difference less than $7,000. Now let's go to acting now as inventory increases. We talked briefly about this before, a couple of the huddles. A listing 2 months ago may have been at $400,000. Now that same listing, as Mike's just talked about, might be $385,000. I mean, $15,000 difference. That's not terribly unusual. The P&I payment difference is a whopping $90 a month. That means that they're going to save, if they act now, they're going to save $1,000 a year. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because these are conversations that I have with your clients on a regular basis. When you send someone over to me as a pre-approval, they don't understand their question. Should I be buying a house now, Greg? What's your opinion? You've been doing this and you're old. Why should I buy a house now? And so I go through facts. I go through very specific numbers. These are some of the numbers that I share with them. And then I go into the next section. Financial impact of not buying now. Some of you in Huddle have seen some of this. Now, assuming home prices are going to go up 5% a year, we just heard Mike say a moment ago that his bet is 8 to 10. So let's cut that in half. Let's assume a home price is only going to go up 5% over the next 12 months. A $400,000 purchase today with a $380,000 mortgage. Watch this math. 380 at 6% is $2,267 just principal and interest. By waiting for rates to come down to 4.5, that's 150 basis points, a full 1.5 points. The principal and interest is going to go down to $1,918.
Okay, so let me stop you there. Because this is people that are saying, no, I think interest rates are going to come back down.
Yep.
So I'm going to wait for them to come back down. And you're saying, okay, well, here's what happens if
That's exactly right, Mike. Thank you. This is why they asked me the question. First question I asked them is, do you think home prices are going to go up, down, or stay the same over the next 12 months? Most everybody says, well, they're probably not going to go up as much, but they're going to go up a little bit. That's perfect, because I lead right into that first sentence. Well, let's just use 5% a year. Let's just be real modest. Then I show them this number. Now watch what happens at this point. The difference between those two principal interest payments is $349 a month. So you are going to spend $349 a month by taking action today versus a year from now, which is a total of $4,188, under $4,200. Now, remember, they just said home prices are going to probably go up, and we're going to use a modest 5%. Total interest savings, if they waited, is $4,200. Look at this. A $400,000 home with a 5% appreciation is a $20,000 equity gain. The very next thing I asked that person, as I said, Dale, if I came to you and said, if you'll give me $4,200, 12 months from now, I'll hand you $20,000, what would you do? That is the question I ask over and over and over again, and everybody says, well, of course I would. This is not being told to a lot of people, which you'll see. Look at this. They gained $15,812 by taking action today with the higher interest rates rather than waiting for the rate to come down 1.5 points. If you have this conversation with your buyers, do you think that would open their eyes a little bit? I mean, just a little bit?
So, say it a different way. I'm going to wait because I think interest rates are coming down. Okay. Oh, you might be right. And that waiting is going to cost you almost $16,000. See, they think they're being clever because they feel like they're saving money. Are they saving money?
Nope.
No. They've lost $16,000. So here's what I know. Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
Greg took the time to put that together for us. Yeah. What I was joking with Greg about yesterday is, Greg, you and I might be the only people in Atlanta real estate that own a calculator. I'm joking. But like, do math. Just do basic math with people. Here's what they say. Professional sales trainers will say this. People don't make decisions with their head. They make decisions with how they feel, and they justify it with their head. People don't make decisions with their head. They feel like, well, rates are too high. I feel like around the election next year, in the future, rates are going to start coming in. They're going to force them back down. So I'm going to wait until rates come back down. Why? Because you feel like you're saving money doing that? Uh-huh. I know. You don't make decisions based on logic either. We all make decisions based on how we feel, and then we justify it with our head. Watch. Jane, I want a new car. And Jane might say, what's wrong with the car you have? Well, nothing really, but I've been looking at this car for a long time, and Jane would say, well, we don't need it. I would say, well, give me 15 minutes on that. I'd save gas. And it's a new car, so I wouldn't have maintenance on it. You know what? I might save money by buying this new car. Yes, we all do that. We decide what we want, and then we justify it with our heads. Everybody makes decisions like that. Sit down with people. This is the trusted advisor. Athena, your customers want you to be a trusted advisor. Holy crap, what is that? Okay. They want you to be a trusted advisor. They want you to guide, and they want to be able to sit there at the kitchen table with you and go, yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that. But watch, even if you don't accept this, Greg, if I go buy a house now, I'm stuck with a 6% interest rate. Over 30 years, it's going to cost me a fortune. Why don't I just wait?
How many people are going to be in their house 30 years? And by the way, the last 4 presidential elections, interest rates have gone down during that year, 08, 12, 16, and 20. That means there's a probability or a possibility that in 2024, interest rates may come down again. If they do, we'll get you to that 4.5%, and you will have picked up $30,000 of equity gain during that time.
Oh. You could you could always refinance. Don't miss out on the $16,000 in equity buildup because you're waiting for rates that might or might not come down. Don't miss out on the home price appreciation. Well, I don't think home prices are going to continue to go up. They're going to continue to come down. One time in the last 100 years have home prices in the United States declined. And that took Greg screwing up the whole world's economy to do it. One time, even in the Great Depression of '29, home prices in the U.S. did not decline. Matter of fact, real estate is your hedge against inflation and recessions. If you really think that high inflation is here to stay for a while, you should be buying real estate because that's your hedge. Real estate goes up dramatically with inflation. What do you think's causing the inflation numbers right now? Gasoline and real estate. If you took those two things out of the economy numbers, you still have inflation. It just doesn't look as crazy. So help your people. Now look, we talk about pivoting. We talk about adjusting. We talk about great agents thrive because they adapt and they change. You have to start adjusting your talking points, how you communicate with people, the conversations you're having at the kitchen table with them. It all starts to change now. Are you going to work harder for less money? Most of you probably are. Some of you have been existing off the strongest real estate market we've ever seen, and you're about to get exposed. And this is my plea for you to get up, get dressed, and get to work every day, because you've been swimming naked and you're about to get discovered. But if you will adapt, if you will adjust your talking points, if you will add new skill sets, if you will start having conversations with your customers that are different, you're going to be fine. 2011 was my best year. Yeah. Bring back, come on, do it again. No. You're going to be fine. Who's not going to be fine? I can tell you. The people that don't make any changes at all. The people that think that the way it's been for the last 2 or 3 years is the way it's going to continue to be. It's not. It's already started to change. The people that don't have the skills to talk their homeowners through a reasonable list price and terms, you're going to need, some of you have been taking 2 to 4 week listing agreements. I'd cut that stuff out. You're going to need 6 months. And you're going to need talking points and skills that help them understand their home's real value and why they should price it there. And for the last couple of years, you haven't been able to do that. Some of you are under 40. And you're going to have a harder time than people that are over 40, because you've never, in your adult life, you've never known a declining marketplace. You don't know the stock market going down. You don't know inflation. You don't know a slower real estate market. In your adult life, you only know a good, strong economic environment. Now, Greg's much, much older than I am. Greg knows many different economies, and hopefully he's not scared of them anymore. But Greg and I would kind of stand by and go, this is crazy. Literally, you don't have to care what somebody wants to list their home for. Don't care. Just go along with them. They'll probably get it. That's coming to an end. For many of you, you're seeing instances right now where it's already ended. But there's some good news embedded in there. For those of you that have been working with home buyers, your home buyers are about to start having more choices. And when they do find a home they like, you're not going to have to sit in the MSO and submit the offer right from there and still be in the 10th offer they've received. You're not going to be in as many competitive situations. These big Wall Street firms that have been buying up the houses, your customers been competing against groups that have unlimited money. It's not a fair fight. Well, they're not competing with them now. These groups have pretty much moved to the sideline. Now, I think, this is an opinion, I think you got a window of opportunity. And if I was working with home buyers right now, this is what I'd be saying to them. These groups, they've moved to the sideline. They're going to sit and watch for a little while because they're not sure what's going to happen. And their exposure's too high. So for the next 60 days, as a home buyer, you got less competition. What's going to happen after that? I don't know, but I think they're coming back. I'm pretty sure they are. But for right now, there's a window of opportunity, so that's the good part. And you're not going to have to overbid. And those groups don't think when they come back in 60 days, they're going to have to overbid either. So there's the good and the bad. But we got to understand it. We got to get our minds right. And we've got to develop some strong talking points that we can sit and talk to our customers and help them understand it. Because they are watching CNN and Fox News. And that shit's all wrong. It's all inflammatory. And it's making them feel things that may or may not be accurate. Well, interest rates have doubled. I can't afford a home. That's how they feel. That might not actually be true. So get you a calculator. Everybody has one sitting in front of you. Everybody does. Just do some math with them. And practice the conversations. Practice with yourself in the car. Practice with each other. Practice doing the math. Okay? Greg just ran through that with you. It wasn't the first time he's done it. Okay? Because he didn't want to look like an idiot up here in front of you. So you run through the math yourself so that when you do it with your customers, it's not the first time you've done it. If you do stuff, if you do, some of you will, most of you won't, but if you did, you would adjust and you will thrive. And we're going to continue to unleash all kinds of new stuff to you. We're not done. And what else could we do? And Dwayne's pretty much going, you ain't doing nothing else for the next 60 days. Okay? We got emails, we got MoxieWorks, we got Real Scout, we got Easy Buy. Stop. Okay, I'll stop for right now, but I'm already working for day 61. Why? Because this is how you pivot, and you're going to have to. But here's what I need you to do. And if you won't do this, then it's not going to work. You got to adopt. You got to be willing to learn it. Stop bitching. Stop grumbling about it. Stop sounding like an old guy. Stop sounding like me. Okay? Dwayne comes in an hour early this morning. I know. I saw him when he pulled in the parking lot. I know why he's here. Why'd you come in early today? He woke up this morning, he's like, holy shit, I got to get in. If his email doesn't work right, it's going to be a bad day. Yeah, don't be me. Go, yeah, okay, but it's going to be better. I'm going to have more stuff. I'm going to be edgier. I'm going to be more modern. But you've got to adopt. And if you won't adopt and implement, it's all just a waste of time and money. And we won't. We'll be like people in 2009, 10, and 11. You know how many people exited the real estate business during those years? 52% of all licensees deactivated during those years. Right now, if you're graduating from pre-license class, they tell you 87% of new licensees will not make it to their 24th month. 87%. And this is why. Some of them would be willing to pivot, adjust. They just don't know how. They don't know what to do. They don't have the tools and resources to do it. They were a dead man before they even got started. We're not going to do that, and you don't have to be scared. And when you do get scared and you do have anxiety and you do run into conversations where you didn't know how to handle it, my office is 10 feet outside that back door. Come see me. We've been through this before. And it's not going to crash, it's just going to calm. And that's actually a good thing. Questions? Opinions? Now look, this is a room full of real estate people. Nobody's got an opinion. Or it's just lunchtime.
I'll say something.
Say something.
So I do agree, and I heard that too, when I first got my license, and now I've had it for 3 years. But there were times in the beginning when I was like, maybe I should get like a regular job. But I feel like if you really focus on it all in, and you really try to do the steps that we hear all the time, then it will. That's just for the newer agents, because I know how hard it was when I started. But you really have to get all in and really just focus on the business, and even as it shifts.
If you didn't have a chance to be on our call this morning, I want you to take 6 minutes and go back and watch the recording, okay? Because it's a really important message. What is our job? When I thought I was going to drive people around and show them really nice homes. That's what I thought. And I would put really nice homes up for sale. That's what I thought. And I would be a deal maker. I'd be putting deals together all over the place. I make it happen. I'm a businessman. I'm popping. That's what I thought. I think it's what we all thought. And then we get our real estate license, and it's not like that. We're not doing deals all the time. I got deals going all over the place. It's not your job. I thought it was. And what I've learned, and what I hope you will learn, is it's the byproduct of your job. Your job is to market yourself to become the top of mind, credible expert to a very defined group of people every day. That's your job. That should comprise more than 51% of your day every day. And for a lot of us, it doesn't comprise any of our time. I want you to assess yourself right now in your own mind. You don't have to admit it out loud, but in your own mind, what percentage of your day is spent marketing yourself to a very defined group of people? Does anybody in the room willing to say that more than 51% of their day is spent doing that? No. But that's our job. And if I don't do my job, I won't have any buyers, and I won't have any sellers, and I don't have any deals to be putting together. I won't have any of that. And then I get frustrated and bewildered and depressed and anxious, and I don't quite understand, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I know. Nobody ever told you the truth. Pre-license is like a cram course for the SAT. It's just meant to get you to pass a test. That's all it's meant for. It's not meant to prepare you to be a realtor. It should be a giant marketing class. That's what it should be. Because if you're not spending half of your day or more marketing yourself, nothing else matters. You won't have any buyers and sellers. That's what it's all about. And some of you might think, well, then I don't want to do that. Okay, then you don't want to do that. Don't do that. Nobody's making you. But if you want to be in this business and you want to make some money and you're frustrated and you're a little confused and bewildered, join the club. We all got sold a bill of goods. Your job, when we walk out of the room right now, is to go market yourself to a very specific group of people. Kim, Liz, who are you marketing yourself to? Horseshoe Bend. That's it. Notice they didn't give me 5 or 6 different groups. They know who they're marketing themselves to, and they know what they need to do to be the top of mind, credible experts in that neighborhood. So that people do call them and say, hey, we need to sell our house in Horseshoe Bend. You're the top agent, because they sent out 8 postcards in 8 weeks. Would you come help us? And that happens to them quite frequently. And you want it to happen to you. Okay? Well, then you got to do like what they do. You got to go market yourself, like right now. Okay? Well, let's go do it. What are you sitting here for?